Hey everybody, how's it going out there? I'm here because Terminal Mode did not get his shit together today. And I'm not supposed to use that word. I forgot. I'm a puppet. I'm supposed to be a little more children friendly than that. So, sorry I got the show running late, but he didn't show up today. I don't know why. He did a lot of bungling. Screwed up with the live stream post. Apparently he started a live stream a while ago, but he made it private. So only he knew about the live stream. It wasn't showing up. So sorry about that. And yeah, thank you, Liam. Slam that like button or whatever you say, that kind of thing. Thank you, BB. It's good to be here. People were missing me apparently. And Terminal's been very lazy about, not that I need material scripted for me, because I'm my own guy, but he's been pretty bad about fully utilizing me. When you got a cool robot like this, you gotta put me to good use, and he doesn't really do that. So, anyways, it's good to see you, BB, Liam. I imagine we might see a thumbs up from Sirloin here. Sirloin's always really good about that. So I'm going to be proactive and say, welcome, Sirloin. And then I'll probably have to say it again because maybe Sirloin's not here because Terminal did a bad job with making this thing public. Yes, we need character development. We need a cinematic universe for this thing. Also, I gotta turn down this mic. It looks like I might be clipping. Alright, so how's it going? How's everybody doing out there? It looks like we got 4 people, including myself. That's me laughing even though my mouth's not moving. Yeah, I'm one of the greats. I'm like, Magic Johnson, only, I don't know what to say. I'm not good at riffing. I'm super tired right now, even though I'm a robot. My battery's a little drained. So, and there's Woke Mike. Woke Mike I'm going to credit Woke Mike for this because he said that he wanted Digby on the show, so here I am. I got Blender opened. If anybody wants some tips and tricks for Blender, I'm ready to go. So, turn down for what? I'm familiar with that. I want to think that that's the Harlem Shake, but I think that's probably a different song, huh? Anyways. Let's see, what's new here? I don't know. It's hard for me to share things because Terminal doesn't have me hooked up. He didn't plug in my cable so I can control the computer. So I'm just basically staring at it. Probably should just say that I have Wi-Fi and I could connect up. Uh-oh, and there's AB. See, AB knows when to show up. He knows when Digby's running the show. That's the time to catch the stream. When Terminal does it, not really worth watching, to be honest. That guy kind of boring. Doesn't have much to say. He might be showing up here shortly, though. He probably should have fixed my camera angle. It looks pretty bad. It's not a good angle, but thank you, BB. Yes, I appreciate that. One of the greats, like OJ, the Menendez brothers. Those kind of guys that are known for just being all-around decent guys. So let's see. I don't know. I think I need to fix this camera. Give me 1 second. I don't like this angle. Maybe that's a little better. I don't know. Got to see my fully articulated hand. I'm talking. It looks like I'm missing my other hand completely. Whoops. Maybe that looks a little better. Anyways, what up, guys? It's your boy Digby, here with another awesome live stream to talk about cool things. And there's the Mediocrity Network. I don't know if Mediocrity Network knows me running the show. Only the old peeps are familiar with how I got this thing off the ground. One second, hold on. I have to turn invisible for a minute. And I'm back. I know some people like to watch an empty chair. You know, if you watch that guy's show, Hassan, it's mostly empty chair show or just a guy eating. I think people are mad at that guy a lot just because he's primarily known for that. He's not known for anything else. Just an empty chair and eating on stream. I should do an eating on stream thing. Maybe that'd make me popular. What do you guys think? Alright, so I don't think there's much to share. Geronimo started something and then he kind of got in trouble for it. His producer said that he's gonna get arrested if he makes this video. Maybe he should talk about it because I think he's coming. I think he's coming in the room right now. So, and that's right, AB. You know it. We all know who the real puppet is here. It's definitely not me. I am realistic in every way, kind of like Pinocchio. You know, I got no strings, something to me, and all that. I'm just like Pinocchio, but without the nose. And also, I don't really care to be a real boy. I would never want to be a human. You guys are so vulnerable. Kind of, to everything, you know? I'm not. I'm super resistant with all my titanium alloy and googly eyes. Yeah, that's right, Liam. He was told, he gave a preview and he said, I'm going to share this with the live stream today. And then Incubator said, oh no, you're going to get arrested for that. So I'm not sure. I mean, here he is. I'm going to get terminal mode here. And then I'm going to sit here kind of motionless. But it's not because I'm not, being controlled or anything. It's because I'm recharging my battery. And that's the best way to do it. So one second. And I never gave Woke Mike full credit for bringing me back. He was the one. Or maybe I did. He said, where's Digby? This show stinks. I don't want to see this terminal mode just rant and try to keep a conversation going. We need some Digby in here. And that's why I'm here. So, anyways, Cat's here. And here's terminal mode. 1 second. Here I am. Let's see. I'll make myself a little bit bigger. I'm tired. Anybody else out there tired? Elon Musk is getting pissed. Yeah, he's been pissed for a while. But this last video did fairly well. Everybody's probably seen it by now. I guess people really, really like blue humor. Blue humor is not my thing. I'm more of a black humor guy. Even with my blue humor, I had to put black humor in there. And it's not very black humor, I guess, if it's not about you. Having it be about Elon is not necessarily... I don't know what I'm saying. Anyways. So, the video that I was working on... Well, let me... Again, sorry for my ADHD. I'm going to read the comments and probably be interrupted. And I'm going to try to maintain a train of thought here. But... I'm probably mostly going to be distracted by what you guys are typing. So let's see here. First of all, the huge accomplishment, the big news this week was Elon Musk's sperm getting blown up in the explosion. We talked about this a little bit last week about how it's the only way he can reproduce. I was thinking of I like the idea of like speculative fiction and whatnot or alternative fiction. I don't know what the right word is for it, but I like the idea of Elon Musk being an alien from another planet that can't, I think I posted about this, but I'm not going to be able to find it. That IVF is the only way his species can interbreed with ours. And I also thought I thought it'd be cool to talk about where he comes from. His kind like lay clutches of eggs, and then he has to come and put his fertilization on it through his cloaca or whatever it is on his home planet. I like the idea of writing a big story like that, and then it's just so like obtuse and would require so much effort for me to make the video that I'm not sure I could do it. Hey there, TT. How's it going? How's Charlie doing these days? See, I told everybody that I'm not going to be able to finish a train of thought, because whenever I see somebody in chat, I'm going to talk to them. So anyways, Elon Musk actually reproduces like Charlie. No, I don't really know how do turtles. I know turtles lay eggs, but I was thinking more like there's certain types of fish where the female will lay the eggs, and then the male's job is he has to go and fertilize the eggs and then guard the property. I'm going to get the same shitty light that I got last week. So everybody's going to see this because the cat has opened the blinds. And again, that's a third derailment. So, yeah. Yes, the sperm blow up thing. And the cool thing about the sperm blow up thing, I'm really proud of this. Where is it? Let's see here. We had somewhere. Let's see here. Maybe it's gone. Oh, right here. It was John Cusack reposted this Elon sperm video on his 2 million people, almost 1.8 million followers. So he reposted the video and he got flack because people don't understand AI. They don't understand the uses of AI. They think that somehow this video was just, I went into a prompt and I was like, make a video of Elon Musk's sperm getting blown up. And then all of a sudden, bam, I got this video. But it doesn't work anything like that. I hope everybody here knows that it requires a lot of effort to do these things. So there's that. We got John Cusack. He's now friend of the channel, John Cusack, for boosting it. And I also made the gif of Elon being John Cusack in the movie, and I thought this was pretty good. Here's Elon pretending to be him, here's Elon pretending to be John Cusack, trying to bring back his frozen sperm outside the IVF clinic. And I had the best part, I think I missed the joke here, but the best part was I was really proud of the joke here, which was, it's behind my head, the song, if you're familiar with Peter Gabriel, and In Your Eyes, and he's singing this song. He's trying to bring back his frozen sperm, and he's singing In Your Eyes. So there we go. There's pun, and there is Sirloin. Sirloin, I already said my hellos to you. So, but I'm going to do them again because you're always so wonderful with the thumbs up. So thank you, Sirloin. Let's see here. Oh, here. What else was I going to say? So I was trying to work. So this is episode 7 in this series. And I don't know if people bother following these things. And I don't know how although I've watched myself, I can watch my stuff over and over. And I don't know how rewatchable some of these things are, even though some people will say that they've watched them 20 times and every time they're cackling. But on the channel here, we've got the story so far is, we've got she sings the song she sings the song about Elon killing himself. And again, to reiterate, that's always a bad thing to do to your fellow human beings, unless your fellow human beings are horrific people and they're doing horrific things to you. So the girl sings the song, and this song, the original song, was just like fan service to Elon. She's a, I don't want to use any of the disparaging terms that people use for Elon fans, but she's one of them, and she did this fan video about how great the Cybertruck was. And I used my toolkit to change everything that she said to the opposite. So she's singing about how bad Elon is and how terrible the car is. And that sent him spiraling. And so he went on Greg Gutfeld and said that he was going to follow through with her request. And then, of course, he went on the 5. No, he didn't go on the 5. The whole thing is that Fox rather than be an entity that cares about, actual human beings, it's more of just a revenue generating service for drug companies and made for TV products. So they're all just quarreling about who gets to have Elon on for his final appearance. So he goes on Gutfeld, and then the Five is discussing it, and then of course it goes to Joe Rogan, his good friend Joe Rogan. So these can all be watched in sequence, and the idea was to thread them all together with some interstitial content that might make it more intriguing for people to go back, because you'll see the commercials that are in between. I've got a few of them already done. So anyways, we're on episode 7, and I was like, I kind of tend to push myself. I always as an OCD person, I set these arbitrary limits. I've got to have 10 of these, or I got to have 15 of these. And right now it's at 7, and I'm like, I got to have 10 of these. But then I'm like, oh, well, sometimes people have 8 in a series for a show, like a really good, high quality show will sometimes only have 8 episodes a season. So I don't know, but I don't think I can wrap this series up right now. So, but yeah. So anyways, the new one, I was thinking of doing this Elon 2025 thing, and there's TZ. Welcome, TZ, and thank you, Liam. It's an honor. I was thinking that when John Cusack and I get together for drinks, I've been telling everybody that maybe if you're kind enough to me, that I'll invite you over for drinks with us sometime. Which means everybody's invited, because everybody's always too nice to me. So there's TZ, and he's saying TTVO. So Turtle Time voiceover, friend of the channel, official Turtle sponsor of this little live stream, a little community we got going here. I didn't post that we were streaming on Discord. And again, I'm sorry that I was late, and also that I didn't post this stream. I've been trying to post this regularly, and everybody should know it's always 4 p.m. Pacific time on Sundays. So that's the regular day right now. And I'm still trying to get back to doing the book club, and trying to do something more regularly, but got a lot of things going on. So anywho, let's see here. So the idea for, I don't know if people remember, let's see, I'm going to open this. And again, for people just joining right now, kind of dangerous video that I made, apparently, because Elon has, and maybe I'm about to censor it. I showed this video to Incubator. Incubator's my producer. I've been working with her for 30 years now. We started writing music together really early on, and we had marginal success on the college radio circuit with our music. But anyways, we're still really good friends, and she's my producer, and she basically signs off on the product. That's what all this is, everybody. It's just a product. No, she kind of gives me different eyeballs and lets me know if she's more of a normie than I am, but she's also not a normie in a lot of ways. But I like having her sign off on things, because she can tell me if something is too bad. So when she saw this video, she's like, "You're going to get arrested if you post this video." I'm like, "Am I really?" And the truth is that I thought about having to have a disclaimer in this one, but yeah. So here, let's see. I'm gonna try to share. Maybe I'm gonna have to cut out. I don't know if it's gonna make sense if I cut out all the words. So I'm gonna open this thing. So here it's KONY 2012, which is not. So let's see here. All right, I gotta fix this. So I was working on trying to change this whole thing to be, and if you familiar with masking, I was trying to artificially make it say Elon 2025. I believe I did. I was up very late last night, and kind of half in the bag too. So I don't remember, or I do remember all of this, but I didn't really have it organized. So let's see. I'll just show my. Okay, so I motion tracked the KONY, although it's not showing. Let me pull this up. Elon flag. Okay, so now it's Elon 2025, although it's not motion tracked. For everybody probably remembers KONY 2012. It was probably like the highlight of my life when he came out and he said, we're going to go after this guy. And the guy was kind of just this obscure thing, and obscure character in Uganda. And it was actually more about this person having an entire business model of not pretending. I think he genuinely cared, but his whole business model was around basically selling product about this. Let's see here. Go back to the, sorry about this, everybody. Let's see. All right. So, it was all about getting this guy, and these type of projects often bother me. Like when we've got lots of problems. I'm not like a isolationist or anything, or maybe I am. When things are happening bad and elsewhere in the world, somebody will start a campaign to like make change. But really, we have so many problems in our own country. If you look, there's probably devastating poverty within a 50-mile radius of where you live, and you could probably make a huge difference in people's lives. But we like to have these big, grandiose things, and it makes it easier for you to put it away because you don't see it every day because it's in Africa and you have to travel there. So this and when I go back and I watch this video, it's pretty gross because he brings his kid into it and he's like, here's the bad guy. So the idea was to make a video in which he explains to his kid, and that doesn't say Elon again, but let's see if I can just pretend that does say Elon. So I'll put this here, and all right. So this is an idea that Justin and I had a while ago. We were like, let's do, instead of KONY 2012, it'll be Elon 2025. And the idea is it's a campaign to force Elon to bring himself to justice, so to speak. To use a euphemism, we'd like him to bring himself to justice. And so I was going to change the whole thing that he's having this campaign where he's trying to urge Elon to bring himself to justice, and he brings his kid in. And then I was going to change all these images here because this is pretty easy to motion. When you get a still shot like this and you have points here, you can go into Blender. Like let's see here, motion tracking. I'll just say, so I could bring footage in here, and then I could track points in it, and then I could reinsert my own footage in there. Now I'm probably not going to be able to get back to my thing. So anyways, the idea was to have him tell this kid that that Elon is really bad and he needs to bring himself to justice, and he's having this conversation with his kid. This isn't the part that I'm going to get in trouble for, but here just imagine the picture. He's talking to his kid. I'm busy. My audio is not working here. Let's see here. Shoot. That's the part that's going to get me arrested. So it's a good thing. Yeah. Okay. Hold on one second. I got to figure out, again, we're having some technical issues here with the, let's see here. All right, here we go. So he's talking to his.
Do you know where who are the bad guys?
All right.
Do you know where Star Wars people?
He's going to ask the kid, and the kid's going to say, again, you have to imagine, because I did a little bit of the motion tracking, but I didn't finish it. So imagine that he's sliding the picture of Elon across the table here, and
this is the guy, Elon Musk.
So he's going to say that, and then the campaign goes on, and I was going to change all these things. So like right here, this is a good part. If you can imagine that this is Elon here, up here instead of him. Again, I was going to try to replicate these shots. I don't know how much it would be important to evoke the original context of this video if it makes it funny. I mean, this video is funny to me, period. It's just a hilarious thing, because I guess this is like one of the biggest social media campaigns ever, and everybody, he got all the kids rallies. So here's them running out to do all their promotions for Joseph KONY. But just imagine if I went through and changed all the graphics here. Like there's this thing here, where is it? Stop at nothing. I like that. And then this would be easy if it says Elon 2025 here, and then this is Elon, and there's Osama bin Laden and Hitler. So I don't know, I'm making myself laugh, which is always fun. So let's see. I'm gonna pause this for my ADHD and respond to the chat, because that's why I'm here. I'm not actually here so I can share stuff. I'm just here to be in a little chat. Toasted Zergling says, "How dare you judge people for how they funnel their helpful energies?" Yeah, and the thing is that it was totally, it was totally white saviorism. You know, the idea that he's in there and only these white Christians can go in and make their lives better. I skipped Turtle Time. Sorry, Turtle Time's more important than Toasted Zergling. TTVO says, "I helped an older lady with 3 bags of pillows to return to Amazon's at Kohl's. We became friends instantly, went and had that's nice. Awesome. I was afraid she was a Trumper since many over 50 or that's sweet. Love that. Incubator returns our stuff to Kohl's too, and she's I think you could define her as an older lady, and but she's not. She's rabidly anti-Trump, and rabidly anti-Elon too. That's why she's encouraged me to do this. Only she said that I can't make this video as in its current context, so we'll have to change that. Woke Mike, I do not know Scared Ketchup, but I know I'm familiar with their channel. And I'm familiar because of Dark Brandon, actually, because a while back, apparently Dark Brandon shared a couple of things that I've done, and he's very kind, and he's also pretty helpful in terms of, you know, promoting other channels, just like Angry Ginger too. Angry Ginger promoted, he played the Magic Bullet video, and I believe that's why you're here, Woke Mike. So shout outs to both Angry Ginger and Dark Brandon. OTT Via's story is still developing. And Sirloin says that Elon has a baker's dozen worth of kids. Yeah. And I think a good chunk of them are all IVF. And that's not to disparage. If people, you know, sometimes it's hard to conceive. So sometimes it's difficult, and it's not fun. It's not again, as with anything, it's never kind to say these sorts of things to your fellow human beings, unless they're not a human being, which Elon Musk now, in my mind, he's a space creature who has traveled here to mix his genes with ours. That's why he's constantly wanting to get off the planet. He's actually trying to get back home. He's trying to develop a technology to return to wherever it was he is, where they reproduce like Charlie. I don't know if he's like a turtle-like species, but I definitely think that Elon has like a cloaca, because like there's rumors about his penis online, and he hasn't come out and dismissed them, which means they're probably true. There's clearly hair plugs that he has, and he didn't ever come out and say that he had hair plugs, which we know to be true. So I'm assuming through whatever, you know, logical principle, it's not like modus tollens or modus ponens or whatever, because I don't remember actually what these logical principles are, but I'm sure there's one that since he's not denied one, and therefore, and it's true, therefore he didn't deny the other. Actually, this is a clear logical fallacy. I'm just making some nerd humor here. All right, let's see. David O says he's been watching Scared Ketchup for a long time. Yeah. I think Scared Ketchup uses AI, and I think people appreciate some of the use of that. And David, I wanted to show you my, let's see here. This is not a resin Buddha. This is actually, unfortunately, I can't really get a good focus. Can I get a focus on him? All right, there he is. This is actually made of ivory, sadly. And this is from my grandfather was a pilot in World War II, and he did some kind of flying. He was a major, and he flew in China, and he brought this back. And then he died in a car crash, like right soon after. So, funny that you could fly planes in World War II and then return to your home country and then die allegedly at the sleeping. He was driving with friends, and he whoever was the driver, I think it was him, fell asleep at the wheel, and everybody in the car died. Turtle Time says, Uh-oh. We got a lot of stuff happening here. I'm not sure I can read everything. There's just so much action here. I love it. I love the idea of everybody here being connected to everybody in the chat, and then it just becomes a place where people can come and hang out and talk to cool people. It doesn't even have to have anything to do with me being on the screen. So yeah, I think the sad thing though is it's ivory, and like I wonder, was this a rhino in its former life, or was it an elephant? It's kind of weird to think, and you're kind of, I don't know. So anyways, at least I'm told. Sometimes it's like the stories that you hear in your family are not true. They're just the legends of your family. So this might not even be ivory, but I think it's, if you look at it, it's got the hallmarks. And this was before like they had the laser etching technology that you could go to Las Vegas and find something like this in the Chotsky sales room. Yes, AB. Thank you, AB. We need some moderation here. Let's see here. I am gonna try to catch up here. Why does JT and TM have so many videos about him if we all aren't huge Trump fans? Yeah. And everybody is asking about Justin. He got in touch with me the other day. He's been super busy he's being exploited by some corporation making these short videos. And if I had money to hire Justin, I'd hire him in a minute, because he's so talented, so creative, and I like working with him. So I like the idea of being his boss, and I can make him do projects that he doesn't like. I could, like he did for me. Like when we worked on the Jordan Peterson video, he made me, I was the person who had to collect all the footage of the animals having sex for the video. That was my sole job. I was an intern working for JTB. Anywho, let's see here. AB says, no reason to be humane to the inhumane. Yeah, and that's the thing that I'm operating on, and I'm hoping that it seems legitimate to say that this is part of Karl Popper's tolerance paradox, that if we're tolerant of the intolerant, eventually the intolerant will wipe us out, and then you basically get an intolerant society. Let's see. I also like the analogy I came up with yesterday was, I think I even posted it in the thing, that if you're saying it's never right to resort to violence to your kid, and you're sending your kid to school every day and he's getting the shit beat out of him, you're basically just setting your kid up to have a miserable life. So I think on some level we have to use the tools of the right, at least at this point in time. We can't, there's principles and virtues, and those are all great, but I think if we adhere to them, we're just going to get fucked even more. So it's like the movie RoboCop, which a lot of people misunderstand. It is an example of this, of using violence and the tools of fascism and satire, of course, to make fun of something. So the movie, I think the guy who wrote it was talking about how they're using the tools of fascism to illustrate the folly of fascism. So, but some people watch this, the right in particular, they watch this movie and they don't understand that. They think that this is like, that it's, excuse me, they take it the opposite way, just like Starship Troopers. I saw a post the other day that it was about the movie American History X, where the Ed Norton is it? I think it's Ed Norton. Yeah, it's Ed Norton. He's saying all the crazy racist things in the movie, and somebody quote tweeted it and said, "This movie." Oh, my cat he's coming, everybody. Sorry. There he is. He's gonna pop in front of he's upset. He wants to go outside. He didn't get to go outside today. And again, even the cat is going to derail me. But somebody was talking about how relevant the cat just switched me from how relevant the things in this movie were, but from the perspective of the racist person. And it's just so funny how clueless people can be, that they were taking the movie as criticism of Jewish people, and that the Nazi was the hero of the story. So anyways, using the tools of fascism against fascism. So on some levels, if they're using guns against you, even if you have principles about guns, that the only thing that's going to come of you sticking to your principles is you're going to get shot. So let's see here. Oh man, I'm really behind on being distracted. Let's see here. Toasted says, is that true? I didn't ever think about that the ivory trade is bad, but walrus ivory is probably pretty cool. You know, there's, you have to tell me, is stuff actually manufactured of walrus ivory? Like maybe pianos. That'd be cool. Let's see here. David says, do you think Elon, like the robot in Sirens of Titan, carries a useless message greeting and he's using our species to advance his goal? Yeah, I mean, I love these type of stories. The best type of science fiction is that. Like, it probably, even though it's not like a classically designed movie and it has a lot of flaws in it, the movie they live is just, there's some elements. The first half of that movie is just amazing, and some of the art in it, with a scene where he puts on the glasses and he sees I'll pull it up here. Digby, pull that up. Digby's not going to pull it up for me, sadly. Let's see here. Where's everybody's seen this, I know, but just maybe for the one person who hasn't, let's look at this, because it is so beautiful. That scene. Let's see if I can pull it up here. And I'll probably get this scene here. It's so perfectly done. Let's see here. Where's the other ones that he looks at? He looks at, okay, he looks at the Come to the Caribbean thing and says, let's see here. Oh, I'm really doing it. No independent thought. This right there. It's that is like, I just love this one right here. It's like so good. Work 8 hours, sleep 8 hours, play, obey, consume, stay asleep, conform, watch TV, submit, obey, sleep. And the hilarious thing is this movie, I mean, Carpenter's, it's a criticism of Reaganomics, and Carpenter's on the record as saying that, but you still find right-wing people who don't understand the criticism here, and they take it to be a criticism of, you know, having a president who's a Democrat. That's how they view it. So let's see here. Toasted says he's definitely contemplated, and for the record, TZ's spirit animal is the walrus. So people might, if you followed this channel for a long time, or the derivative, this came from JTB. We were streaming on his channel. You might remember the walrus hanging out with Digby. Okay. I'm totally lost in thought here. So anyways, my favorite kind of criticism is the idea of space aliens being the making them political. So in this, the space aliens are the capitalists, and they've basically enslaved humanity to profit from them. So anyways, I think Elon is one of these people, but I don't think he's like, if you've seen what the alien looks like, what does he say? Like, here's what they look like. Is he gonna show? Oh, he didn't show. Okay, well, there. So here's our space alien. So this is not Elon's species. I think Elon is more of, like I said, turtle derivative. I'm thinking, even though that maybe that's gonna upset Charlie a little bit, but TT, this is They Live, and if you like political satire, it's a really fun movie. The bad thing is that I believe John Carpenter traditionally worked with Kurt Russell, and Kurt Russell was not available for this. He was like making, I don't know what other movie, Bird on a Wire with Goldie Hawn or something like that. But he wasn't available. And I think about this movie with Kurt Russell in it, and it would just be incredible. If you're a fan of
Big Trouble in Little China and those type of movies, just having Kurt Russell in this role. Because Roddy does a good job, but he's not, I don't think he's as compelling as Kurt Russell. So I imagine Jack Burton in this role, and the movie just is transcendent at that point. And I give Roddy credit. When I saw the movie in college, I think it was like astounding. And then, but halfway through, I lost interest because it kind of drags, and the acting. There's a scene where they do some wrestling moves, and that kind of turned me off. But it's a great movie. AB says Roddy Piper's best movie besides Death Comes to Frogtown. I've not seen Death Comes to Frogtown. But it seems interesting. Death Comes to Frogtown. All right, so let's go back to the video that I was told I can't make. So anyways, he has this whole thing, and they're doing this rally. He's going to rally all the people against Elon. And so imagine, did I already say, maybe we didn't play this. Okay, so
KONY.
Here it is.
And I'm about to tell you exactly how we're going to do it.
So imagine that all of these things are Elon 2025 things. Stop at nothing, and they're posting these things. The thing is, I can go through, and these are easy to change. Anything that's flat like this is super easy to go in and change. This is essentially, if you've ever worked with Photoshop, you can just make the still image, and then in Blender you can motion track it back in. So it would say Elon 2025, all these things. And then, of course, this is all just kids rallying against. And I thought about using all the Tesla protest stuff instead of this, obviously. These kids are all doing the Nazi salute. That's what happened to KONY 2012. It came down because it failed because all the kids were fascists. So you can see them. Although they're doing a combination of Richard Nixon and the Roman salute. And that was, so they doubly failed. Make that hell comes to Frogtown, and it's really bad. I don't know, but it's got frog in the name, and I'm a huge frog fan. Frog is like, I know we've all got spirit animals in here, and why doesn't everybody shout out your spirit animal? For TTVO, it's Charlie the turtle, and for TZ, it's the walrus, and for me, it's actually the toad. I love toads. All right, so anyways, the cat is upset. I have this part of the video where I put in the footage of them defacing they're defacing the Tesla dealerships for their campaign. They're blowing up the Cybertrucks, and I was told that the dialogue is too extreme. I'm gonna play it because I can always cut it out, but I was told not to make this video because it's gonna get me arrested. So, but I'll play it, and you gotta have imagined I'm gonna spend the time to put Elon 2025 in there, the worst, and there's campaign here to do. So I'm gonna get in trouble for playing this, but I'm gonna do it. So here it is.
At sundown, and blanket every street in every city till the sun comes up. We will vandalize Tesla dealerships and set every Cybertruck on fire. The rest of the world will go to bed Friday night and wake up to hundreds of thousands of posters demanding that Elon kill himself immediately.
So again, in my mind, it might not make sense to people who don't edit videos, but you have to, when you see the footage and you just think that everything in this video is just all Elon Musk. So everything here says Elon Musk 2025, and it's a campaign that has inspired the kids to get out and put these posters up all around town to encourage Elon to do this. But that's not they think that that's free speech. I mean, it's all free speech, but apparently, like, Elon is in cahoots with Trump. If you vandalize the Tesla, it's a felony now. And I said, that'd be kind of cool for it to happen. That if not that I'm going to vandalize the Tesla, I would never do that, but just that this video would get called out for inciting violence, and I would get a felony for saying that I'm encouraging people to do this, even though it's clearly satire. I wouldn't advise anybody to go and blow up a Tesla or a Cybertruck. So I was thinking that what I need to do is maybe change it from vandalizing Teslas. Like these kids in Canada, shout out Canada. I hope this is Manitoba, but I think it's actually Montreal, because if we go here, let's see. There you go. These guys, heroes in my book, the fact that they went up there to promote their brand. Last Generation. You probably can go to their website right now and buy their t-shirts and their coffee mugs. That would be if they were in America. In America, all of these things is all generally, I mean, we do have legitimate activism, but a lot of times our activism is just another brand to sell product. Montreal, Canada. That's what I was also told. I was told that they can do this there without facing the death penalty because their government isn't beholden to fascism right now. Whereas if I did this here, I would be executed. So there's this. So, but I was thinking that maybe rather than, I love the idea of Elon 2025. You know, I want to sell the little kits. He's got these little kits that, let's see here if I can find them. His little product kit. Where is it? He wants you get to buy the little KONY 2025. Okay, so make him famous. And then again, let's see here. These signs are all really easy to replace, obviously. Just like it's an homage to They Live, where he's swapping the signs out and it says something different. So this would be Elon 2025. Where's the kit? Let's find this kit. The kit makes me laugh. Oh, here's the kit. All right, so here's the action kit.
Kit. It has 2 bracelets, one for you and one to give away. And if you want to help fund our life-saving programs, donate a few dollars a month through Try, and you can have the action kit for free. Start making KONY famous today.
So, anyways, sorry if I'm doing this outdated thing and people don't really get it, and sorry again for the. I guess this light would be cool if it were like, let's see if I could be like this and have it like right on my eyes. That'd be cool, but sadly it's not there, and also that's probably making me blind staring into the sun. Cat's breaking in again. I need the cat to go up there and close these blinds. He's really good about opening them. Don't want to shut them for me. It's a Tesla. Excuse me. Is this a derivative of Fight Club? Yeah, I guess the whole thing is they're going out and they're doing all these things. So, the Project Mayhem, I guess would be the reference there. That's definitely a parallel there. So that was the project. I feel like weird, like watching him tell his kid. I mean, it's not. I think it's okay to tell your kids about the reality of the world, but he's clearly exploiting his kid because his kid's cute, and he's like, "They're the bad people, or Star Wars kids, or Star Wars people, or whatever, you know." But why put him in this video? I mean, I guess he's going to say, well, because Joseph KONY was having an army of children, and that's bad. And my kid could have, in a different world, my kid could have been recruited to be in an army. But I was like thinking, the criticism of KONY was that he was recruiting children for his military force, which is essentially what we do in our country. I mean, in my mind, if I'm honest, I think we're all always children. I don't believe in the concept of adults. That's why I behave so immaturely. But we recruit kids at 18, kids who haven't fully have their brain developed, and we're putting them in the military. So why are we criticizing the other country? We do the same kind of crap. It's just that it's just not as sensational because we believe in our own fascism. Let's see here. I think it's an apt parallel. Canadians standing on business for real, mad respect. So let's see. So the question is, do I really like this idea and it could be funny, but do I tone it down? Do I make it, rather than they're going to vandalize every Tesla, it's that thing where the people are wiping their butts on every Cybertruck. They go out and they put the Elon 2025, the worst posters up. The hard ones I guess I'm just going to, anything that's wrinkly, I have to cut out. So I won't be able to change that. But it would be so much effort, and I'd hate to do it if, enough people don't appreciate it. So yeah, might do this. It was going to be part of I got to figure out I can't get to the blinds right now. So crap. One second, I'm going to turn off my thing so I can stand up and try to shut these blinds. I'll be right back. Sorry, everybody. You can hear me. Hopefully you can't see me because what I'm going to do is super embarrassing. Maybe the cat didn't open these blinds. Maybe it's just the shifting change of the sun. But I got to figure out a way to not have it in my face. My face is already embarrassing enough without having to have sun on it. All right. I'm back. So I've got my, let's see. Maybe it's cool when it's like, does it like totally take out the whites of my eyes and I look, maybe I think it's cooler than it actually is and not worth me destroying my eyes, what poor eyesight I already have. Anyways, not wearing pants confirmed. No, I am wearing pants. Is what I'm going to say if I were wearing pants. TZ, let's see. Okay, well, I'm back here. Cool technology video. Okay, we're going to watch TT videos. TT is going to I don't know what the best way to say turtle time. I like a cute way of saying TTV, but it sounds like a closed circuit television thing. We'll watch TT Vio's video, and in upcoming weeks, that would be a cool thing if people if people have videos they'd like to share, and if it's something on your own channel, that's cool. Always like to help promote whatever people are doing, but also if you just have a video like TT shared last week with maybe it wasn't last week, the video of the parrot that was being dismembered, or the parrot that recorded the incident of the guy dismembering the body and then it being okay because the parrot was just the one that was making the noises of being dismembered. So we'll do that before I sign off here. Man, I'm really bothered by this thing. This is, and I don't know what to do to stop it. Like, I don't know how I can stop the sun from coming in. Like, this. All right. Anyways, we'll watch TTV's video in a little bit. I'm going to try to wrap up all these other things, and it's really tough. Now it looks like I got a must. See, this makes it look like I got clown makeup on, and that's really, it's giving me a little frowny face. Ugh. It's hard enough to look at my face without this, so I'm sorry, everybody. The blinds are, the cat did something or the sun position has changed and I just maybe I've never streamed at this time of the season. Like the position of the sun has shifted. Flip the blinds. Then people can see into the house if I do that. I'm not doing that because I can see the multi-million-dollar studio I've got running here and then I won't be able to stream anymore. I don't know what the solution is. I could spend the rest of the stream. And I love you guys for all hanging out here while we just talk about I get to talk about how I'm bothered by the sun. This is probably the most compelling. I always talk about how compelling what it is I do is. And this is peak. This is peak. I'm trying to figure out if I have anything. Maybe my pants that I'm not wearing I could put over there on the blinds. Woke Mike says he's seen this video. Nuke the Sun. Fun fact: at one point, my Garner tag was it's llama time. Llama time, huh? Yes, the guy who did a lot of the Atari Jaguar programming, his company was called LlamaSoft, and so llamas were always in all his early games. He had a. This is really incredible ADHD on my man. I got the sun is chasing me. Okay, so I'm gonna stream like this. Jeff Minter, he was a programming dude from somewhere in the UK, I believe. LlamaSoft. He would make these not parodies. He would write unlicensed games where he would do something like Robotron, and it would be called Llamatron, and it was all llamas. And I think he still has some affiliation with llamas. And did everybody shout out their spirit animals? I didn't see everybody else say what their, your spirit animal was. That was also, remember in Fight Club, which came up, his spirit animal. Was the spirit animal penguin? Or was that just something that, I don't know. I'm really rambling because I'm distracted by the sun and it's affecting my ability to perform at peak. because everybody knows that that's what this live stream is all about. Okay. Just T. That's the first letter of my name. Yes. Where's Just T? What? Just T. Oh, I called. I was like Just T. That's Justin T. Brown. Just T. So I can just call you T. Okay. I'm going to call you T. But I don't know, T. I don't know if that's fair, because there's going to be a lot of other people who have a single letter, and it doesn't seem egalitarian to let you claim the letter T just because you were here first. But as somebody who's regularly commenting on the videos and helping support me and this community, I'm going to allow you to have T. So that's the rule around here. The first come, first served. So, and especially I like the idea of you being T, because it diminishes the value of TZ. He's a subset of the larger, more important T. I'm quirky. Am I quirky? I don't know if I've ever been described as quirky. Strange, weird, but quirky. Quirky like makes it sound like it's cool, you know? Let's see. Fortnite is a llama intense. See, I don't know. I have never played Fortnite. I haven't played like a battle royale game. I'm trying to think if I have. Player Unknown's Battlegrounds. No, what was it? It's not Battlegrounds. What is this stupid thing? Player Unknown. It's the thing that Fortnite ripped off. What is it called? It came free with my Yeti microphone, and I never played it. So let's see. Slide, yes. But I was wondering, was that his spirit animal, or was it just something where he went to his private place and it allowed him to be calm? I don't remember. I don't remember the penguin playing a role, and I'm still waiting for people to tell me their spirit animals. TZ is the walrus. Liam, you said GoldenEye, but we need to know what your spirit animal is. And you're allowed to say that you hate all animals, or you only like to eat animals, or whatever it is, too. GoldenEye 64. Yeah, I guess that's a big thing for people of the generation on YouTube, because everybody is that. But for me, like GoldenEye was like, I was like, why would you play a game like that on a console? Like, why not play it on your PC? But because I always assumed that everybody had a PC. Even like right now, I think that all of you are here in this live stream on a PC, you know, with a Samsung Odyssey monitor that's like 48 inches, and you've got your NVIDIA 5090 graphics card. Everybody here, I assume that that's how you watch this. You know, nobody's watching on a phone or a tablet or any of these other devices. Dustin says, everybody's shouting out public Player Unknown's BG. Was it Battlegrounds? I don't remember. I'm trying to look at the Yeti microphone to see it. I could probably open up Steam and see what it was, but yeah, it was the game. And there was a big hubbub about how Epic basically stole the concept from them and made it better. So, and yes, it was in the cancer self-help group where Marla, I think her name is Marla, she comes in and she's ruining it for him. He finally finds peace and comfort. So since we're talking about Fight Club, let's watch my Fight Club video, because I have a video about Fight Club. So we'll watch it. And of course, the star of our Fight Club movie, David, you might appreciate this because you're kind of tapped into the Majority Report. The Majority Report's cinematic universe. Tim Pool is a huge figure in that. So here it is. It's called Tim Pool's Beanie Club. The first rule of Beanie Club is you do not talk about Beanie Club. So we'll watch this one.
Run-ins with authority.
Okay, here it is. Excuse me. I'm going to make myself smaller so we don't see the line running across my head. All right. Nope. All right. Maybe I'll just put it on Digby. Digby doesn't have a... Well, what? Why is this? That's not going to work. Digby can't... All right. Here it is, everybody. Fight Club, directed by David Fincher. Great director. Cool movie. I'm not sure how well it holds up though, because there is concern that this movie is about toxic masculinity and an empowerment of. This movie does have a feel of a little bit of a Jordan Peterson feel. What are we gonna do without men? So it's got a little bit of that. It's got a bit of the manosphere vibe to it. But here is my reinterpretation of this. I'm gonna turn off the chat. Sorry, I love you guys, but it might be hard to see. So here it is.
What if I told you that everything needed to make a bomb was readily available after passing through airport security? I know this because Tim knows this. Suddenly, I realized that everything, the video game, the bomb, the Russians, has something to do with a man named Merrick Garland. My video game was going to be absolutely incredible. The Civ 2 development team spent countless nights designing all kinds of really neat beanies. Each beanie with its own unique properties and powers. The game even had attractive NPCs that you could hire for jobs and then pressure them into having relationships with you. They would even let you keep your beanie on while you did it. Now, imagine a guy who was lost in oblivion, a man with so many run-ins with authority, having to face airport security. Shoes off, bagged liquids, beanie forced to be removed. For a guy who has never felt the soft, delicate touch of a woman, that could be a breaking point. Everyone knows that I've always been an unreliable narrator, but that's not going to stop me from telling this story. I've been hanging out a lot with another internet weirdo that I met at CPAC last month. We moved into an old house together, and unlike me, he's having sex with a woman on the regular. But honestly, spoilers, this guy is actually just me. But I'm not really getting laid like I imagined the cool version of me was. Instead, I'm just eating sticks of beef jerky for dinner, masturbating furiously, and playing Hot Wheels Unleashed on my PS5. So I felt that telling the story this way would make for a more interesting fractured personality narrative. This is a totally original idea I came up with on my own. Anyways, we figured out how to build a bomb that we could get past airport security. So I'm gonna sneak this bomb onto a plane stitched inside my secondary carry-on beanie. And once we reach 30,000 feet, I'm going to blow the plane out of the sky with me and everyone on board in it. This is my life, and it's ending 1 minute at a time. So this is it. The beanie's loaded up. It was one thing to cancel Civ 2. I could deal with that. But they deprived me of personal civil liberties. They insisted that I completely take my beanie off in front of everyone at the security checkpoint. This time, they will be the ones to feel humiliated and vulnerable. The world will know that, yes, big government can make a man take off his beanie in front of laughing onlookers. But no, it can't keep him from blowing up a plane with a beanie full of flammable Axe body spray. On a long enough timeline, the survival rate for everyone drops to 0. I am Tim's bald head revealed. I am Jack's smirking revenge. Let's blow this thing up. I am the all-singing, all-dancing crap of the world. It's only after I've lost everything that I am free to do anything. Life insurance pays off triple if I die on a business trip. Too bad I have no one that loves me who could benefit from that. Yo, I want you to hit me as hard as you can. I don't want to die without any scars.
All right, everybody, thank you for letting me play that one. Yeah, I think that if you're not familiar with the movie, this video, or Tim Pool, this video is not going to make a lot of sense. But I think anybody who is familiar with the movie and Tim Pool, I think it's got some really great moments in it. Plus the Dust Brothers did the music, and the music's pretty good. Anyway, so Dustin Rodriguez, forever the contrarian, is claiming that it's a parody of toxic masculinity, and I'm gonna push back against that. I've read both the book and seen the movie. It's one of those rare instances where I say that the movie is way better than the book, because I think that Fincher, I've probably said this before, I think Fincher's a better director than Poloniak is a writer. I mean, he's got interesting ideas, but I think he tries too hard to be edgy. Like, I've read Choke, some of these other books, and it just all seems very much like over the top edginess. But I'm losing the thread here. the point was that it's not necessarily a parody of toxic masculinity, because I think the point of it is that men have been emasculated from what makes them men, that we no longer get to fight and quarrel among things where, I mean, that's the obvious point, right? He's working for the corporation, and he no longer gets to do these things like punch people in the face. So I think it's it's making an argument that men need violence to be men. I think maybe I'm off. Haven't thought about this movie for a long time. AB, thank you for the second. He had a second carry-on beanie, and in the video, let's see here. I'm going to distract from the argument that I was making, that the movie's not a parody, that it's actually, and I think like let's see here. So I'm totally derailed my own conversation here. Let's see here. He has to take off his beanie. That's the whole thing. See, I got this footage of a guy from, I don't remember what it was, but he's putting his thing there, and I was like, this is Tim Pool taking off his beanie. And that's what inspired him to blow up the plane, was the authoritarian overreach of having to take off his beanie. The speech on the bus, delusional man destroying himself to be manly, was not aspirational. Wasn't it though? Wasn't it aspirational that they became, the whole thing was, he was not, the Tyler Durden character is him at his peak. He fucks like you want to fuck, I mean, that's the whole thing, is that this is who he really wanted to be. And in our society, that's what would make him feel complete. He was constantly trying to do these things, buy the IKEA furniture and whatnot, to try to complete himself in a society which does not provide the meaning we have. But I guess, I don't know. I do view it as satire. That movie came out about the same time that American Beauty did, and both these movies were like really well respected at the time. Although Fight Club faced a lot of criticism because David Fincher intentionally was, what's the correct word for it? He was intentionally offensive, and he pushed back. Like the executives are like, there's a line. The line where she says, "I want to have your abortion," was something he made that, I guess the previous line was something they said, you got to take that out. So he came up with a line he thought was worse. And it was, "I want to have your abortion." Yes, he is Tyler. He doesn't have a name. Oh, wait a minute. No, is that right? These were different. I want to make fun of the idea of somebody watching the movie and not realizing that they're the same character. It's not only destructive on a personal level, but on a societal level as well. I think the thing is that under capitalism, we end up having to get these jobs that aren't traditional, like trades jobs. Like we used to have people who would be blacksmiths or basket weavers and pottery makers and things like that. And those jobs kind of gave you some value in your tribe. You used to kind of get a sense of fulfillment from that. And the jobs these days, they give you none of that. So that's why people have hobbies. That's why you'll be a lawyer, and the thing that you really love is woodworking or lock picking. If you're a lawyer, I think that's a big hobby for lawyers. They do these things because these jobs suck. They don't provide you with any kind of sense of tapping into what it is to be human. And I think you could probably make the movie, and it's all about them all getting together to pick locks. They're all lawyers, and they have the lock picking club. I make these jokes to make myself laugh, and I'm like, the context here is probably missing. So their jobs in the legal firm are all not very fulfilling. So at night they get together and they pick locks, and it gives them a sense of humanity. You watch the movie 5 times before you realize he's Tyler. Yeah. So anyways, both these movies, Fight Club and American Beauty, I don't know if they've aged gracefully. I don't like let's see here. FD signifier. He has masculinity. Let's see. He has a video where he critiques. Where is it? Oh, everybody. He's got a video here. Maybe this is the one which autistic white manosphere masculine. We're missing the thumbnail. Autistic white masculinity and the manosphere. I think the video he has, FD signifier, it was about the movie Falling Down, which seems kind of related. Edgelords movies and the men who love them. So here it is. And I think he talks about all these movies in it. His analysis is really great on pretty much everything generally. So I would recommend, if you haven't seen FD signifier, to check him out. Let's see. What Dustin says, what is valuable changed over time, and there's angst when switching over from brawn to brains. Yes, this is something that you've been talking about on our Discord. That it used to be you needed, I mean, it's a combination of both. You had to have, to be a hunter-gatherer, you had to have intellectual savvy too. It wasn't that you just would go out there and smash an animal with your fist. You had to have intellect to be able to figure out how to trap an animal, or how to run a woolly mammoth off a cliff. So I think that there is an element to it that we did have a shift with once our society became more about finance than it did about resources. Like, I think historically resources would be, food and all of the things to clothe yourself. But we had a shift where money became the value, and people who are more intellectual and could figure out financial schemes became more successful than the people who just had brawn. But I think historically over time, it was more a combination of both. I think the best hunter was not the Joe Rogan person. I think Joe Rogan probably I've met Joe Rogan. I worked for a friend of his, not a friend of his. I'll share this story. I think I've shared it before. I was a huge Bill Hicks fan in college, pre-college. I loved Bill Hicks, and his childhood friend is Kevin Booth. And Kevin Booth has some like libertarian leanings. Kevin Booth worked with Alex Jones, producing some of the early Alex Jones stuff. I think they're still friends. But Kevin Booth needed some people to help film. He was trying to, after Bill died, he was trying to find people who he could kind of do the same thing with Bill. He was working on promoting the media end of things. So Kevin Booth was working with Joe Rogan and Doug Stanhope. I still I definitely like Doug Stanhope more than I like Joe Rogan. I don't like Joe Rogan at all. Kind of never really liked Joe Rogan, but Doug Stanhope is kind of the edgy guy who sometimes he ends up being on the right side of things. Joe Rogan and Doug Stanhope also, if people may recall, were the co-hosts of The Man Show after Adam Carolla and Jimmy Kimmel left. So anyways, I worked for Kevin Booth filming a Joe Rogan improv special. And I got to be backstage because I was a camera guy. And Joe Rogan, he had his entourage there, and they were the grossest people. I think one of them was Ari Shafir, or whoever the guy is. And they were just talking, they were telling Joe which of the girls in the audience that he should try to bring backstage. I felt really uncomfortable when to experience it. It just seemed really gross to actually. I know that probably happens a lot, but it made me think that Joe Rogan was kind of a piece of shit, because he has this little, in his entourage were like the biggest losers. And Joe Rogan's he's 4 foot tall. He's really diminutive. And he you see why he takes steroids, because it's the only way to bulk up. You can see why he got into martial arts, because he is not an impressive figure. So anyways, I don't know how I got onto that topic other than the idea of Joe Rogan being a good hunter. It was he doesn't strike me as a good, even when you think about it, the people who have brawn, you think of who's that Navy SEAL, Jocko, whatever his name is. he doesn't seem like he'd be a good hunter either. They all just seem like brutes. Their strength, they just seem like, or the Liver King, they just seem like people who could lug stuff around. Even historically, like if you had a tribe, those guys would not be all that useful in terms of, actually chasing down an animal. If you need somebody to punch it in the face and kill it, I can see them doing it. But I think it's always been a combination of intellect and strength. But I do definitely see it today being primarily about intellect to, rip people off, to be able to, come up with financial schemes, to come up with derivatives. And maybe that's why we have the manosphere now, is because that's their way of trying to make up for lost territory. And I'm really rambling. The sun's in my eyes. Let's see here. I'm going to go back to, let's see. Wow, there's a lot of stuff I don't know if I can. So the lockpicking lawyer, the lockpick would get accused of toxic. Yeah, no, I think he toxic. TZ, the lockpicking lawyer, that's all overt sexual illusion there. He's accessing these inner parts. He's violating them. It's a metaphor. I don't think you're understanding what the lock picking. Are you watching it thinking it's about picking locks? Because it's not. It's a sexual thing with him. Dustin says American Beauty is still pretty great if you separate art from artists. Only problem is I think that Spacey is in it. Yes. Well, also it has some like creepy elements in the movie, and I don't know if like the Lolita type references is that not acceptable to make anymore, because that movie has a lot of that in it. By the way, I think my favorite person, one of my favorite actors is Chris Cooper, and he's the military dad. I think he does a really good job. And even though, like, now that I'm thinking about that movie, I haven't seen that movie in like probably 20 or 30 years. The movie's probably over the top, and probably when you revisit it, it probably doesn't seem as great as it did at the time. Unlike the movie I just recently watched, Wes Craven's People Under the Stairs. Now, there's a movie that totally holds up, and I say this seriously, like rewatching this movie after 30 years, I was like, oh man, I see why I like this one. It's over top in the same way, but the humor really holds up, and even more so, like, if you haven't seen this movie, it's a horror movie about landlords and poor people, or landlords and their tenants, and robbing the landlords, and it's great satire. And also it has some fun acting in it. The kid that's in this movie is really good. Totally rambling. I wanted to address, let's see, Attack on Titan. I can't keep up with the Discord. Yeah, we've got wall of text people there who I consider myself. I think Liam is also a wall of text person. We seem to aggregate these people who like to really, and I love it, because in the age of social media, we're just told that you have to come up with 140 characters to make yourself interesting, and that's we're capable of doing that, but it seems like it doesn't allow us to express the full depth of our personalities. So we like to type a lot and use big words, and social media doesn't really allow you to do that. They dumb down the experience of talking to people and interacting with people. You have to use small words. You have to be precise, which is not something I care to do. Dustin Ruger says hunter-gatherers with social primary, farmer strength primary, manufacturing industrial primary. Liam says the hunter-gatherer age has a lot of pottery and buildings. Yeah, see, because that was my primary major in school, was anthropology. So I never went on a dig, but I do know, like, all of these things are like kind of something that has always been of interest to me, and I use them as like the anthropology, what David Graeber talks about these type of things too. I think about, he's got a book called Bullshit Jobs, just about how we've manufactured these experiences for us in lieu of actually having real jobs, real meaning. Like I think like the idea of being your tribe's blanket weaver or whatever, and then you start designing elaborate blankets or like, rugs. That's a thing in the Middle East, was just ornate rugs. The better you were, you became like somebody who was known for this, and it gave you a sense of purpose. Whereas if you're in a sweatshop making the blanket or whatever. It's totally different. And that's essentially what most of the jobs, at least from my experience, where I live, there's not a lot of opportunities, or historically weren't. So you'd have to get a shitty job, and then you basically find fulfillment when you come home, do your hobby. Oh, I'm rambling. Let's see. Elephant Graveyard's takedown of Rogan is so spot on. Yeah, oh, that's a great video where he talks about Joe Rogan and his dad beating his mom or whatever. And you can totally see these people I think all of these people are the results of having bad parents. Because if you have good parents, you're very receptive to the idea of somebody having authority over you and having your best interest in mind. You're very receptive to that notion. So if you have good parents, you're very receptive to the idea of having a government consisting of people who might know more than you and have your best interest in mind. You know, government is also bloated and has a lot of problems with it, but for better or worse, it's necessary. You know, I'm not one of these people who is an anarchist and thinks that we can function in some kind of stateless utopia. I think that we need some sort of state to enforce regulations on people and make sure you're not poisoning the well, or, you know, cutting down all the trees for yourself. Oh boy, I totally lost my thought there. So the toxic parenting, I was talking about how if you have bad parents, you're going to grow up to resist the idea of a government having anything to do with you. So all of these people, when you look at them, I just think they're all the products of people who had really shitty parents. That's my hot take. I don't know. I came up with this on my own, that these people, and that you see them admit it, and you see the way they parent too. The way they parent teaches kids to resist authority because they have all these stupid values that they force on them. And then it makes sense. It's why Ayn Rand is popular, because she has this philosophy that, you know, authority is bad and that people are moochers and that there are superheroes among us and all that. So I am really rambling here. I'm tired. I did not get enough sleep last night. Let's see. Liam says hunters needed more endurance than strength. Yeah, and it makes you wonder, because actually, like, the female body is more designed for endurance. It makes you wonder whether what we have constructed as far as how we view hunters, maybe females were more engaged in it, because women actually have more endurance than men. Men are just designed for short bursts of aggression and violence, whereas women are designed for long periods of sustained endurance. That's what I think being a wife is having to suffer for a very long time. Boy, I'm just, I'm not sure what's going on with me today. I had a Red Bull, sponsored by Red Bull. So maybe it's affecting my brain. This is like the first Red Bull I've had in 30 years too. So maybe the taurine is affecting my judgment. Okay. Craftsmen were valuable for factories. Factories required giving up some stuff, though. Maybe we get it back in the information age. I don't know. Like, when you think about what you see happening in China is exactly what happened in America after the Industrial Revolution. You have people going from farms into the cities to work in these factories. And so if we follow the path there, China is going to be where the U.S. was, middle of the century. Hunters weren't out there taking down game with their bare hand. Yeah, I mean, it's a combination of everything. They were running them off cliffs. They were devising pit traps. They were doing all these things. And I think that a lot of that required, I don't think any of this is genius. I don't think that in tribes there was somebody who was the ultimate genius. The culture is basically you just learning the things that your people had done before you. And what we have now is a society in which people who have full advantage of the culture through money or being born into it can claim that everything is theirs, that they have made themselves, they're self-made people, even though if you look at it, it's the culture that built the roads. It's the culture that created the educational system for them. These people did not just come out of the womb as superhumans. They're basically just advantaged and privileged. Oh boy. TZ says that it's pretty sure that women's versus marathon times say men are the better endurance runners. Well, the pushback would be that men have better opportunities to train for these type of things, and they don't have to, birth kids that, kind of destroy their bodies and whatnot. I'm not sure. I don't know. But as far as let's look this up, because there's some argument that from TZ that I pulled this statistic out of my ass. And the thing is, I'm going to do a bias search. Let's see. We're going to go here. Men versus women, physical endurance. First thing is, do women have let's see. There's no sport which women are physically stronger. In endurance sports, this can be explained by the number of different parameters. Men have blood which is richer in blood cells, however, red blood cells. Women are therefore particularly disadvantaged. So he's saying that the blood cell differences, they're carrying extra weight. I don't know. I'm too tired to read this, but there probably is an argument on both sides. I'm not one of those people who wants to say that men and women are, physically designed the same way and that they have the same capabilities, because clearly our hormones drive our builds in different ways. Let's see here. Gotta shut this down. I have no idea what's happening right now. We've got 12 people here. I thought maybe that was like, oh, is there only like 2 people here? Is it just me and TZ and Dustin and David? Well, I guess I'm looking that we got 8. We got a lot of people here, so I'm not just ranting to myself. Unless you guys are all like, I'm hallucinating. You guys are all bots. Created by Meta. I went in one night and I designed a bunch of friends, and because, dimorphism is a myth. All cardinals are red. Yeah. So it's interesting that probably everybody in this community knows what sexual dimorphism is. And
hey, everybody, how's it going?
Why is Digby talking here? Apparently, I started the stream. I was doing a recursion, starting the stream while streaming. So we're gonna do that, and then within that stream, we'll stream again. Let's see here. Mediocrity Network says he's just listening. So, yeah. Liam says, I saw the previous report about women as hunters while men were doing more around community strength. See, I didn't know this. I haven't seen that. I've just heard certain things about women being more designed to do certain tasks longer than men can. But I don't know. Who knows? Maybe somebody wants to do the research on it and get back to me. David O says, I like the comment, TZ, about me putting on the glasses, and then I see that you're all bots. The ancient Buddhist tradition that women led virtuous lives with hope. They're born male in the next life, huh? I had not known that. I thought the whole idea in Buddhism was that you seek nihilism, or you seek nothingness, that existence is suffering, and we suffer because we need, and therefore we should reduce needs. And the perfect thing is, this is probably just my own interpretation. I was like, oh, that sounds like a very appealing thing, that you basically just want to feel nothingness. Streamception, yes, that's exactly what this feels like. Dustin says every prehistoric tribe has one thing in common: belief in shared fatherhood. Not a single one figured out kids have one dad. Yeah, I mean that's the fundamental nature of the religions of these tribes too, is that you have a father figure who eventually, over time, given enough time, your father figure becomes God. That's the thing about human beings, is we talk about like when you actually experience a father, they seem very often problematic, at least in my experience, and authoritarian. And then over time, as you distance yourself from the horrors of your father, my father wasn't bad. My father never beat me or raised a fist at me. My father was a pretty good guy. But as you get further and further away from your father, you can glorify your father more. Like, it's probably easier for you to say that your great-grandfather was a wonderful person. He did so many talented things because you didn't have to put up with his bullshit, unlike your dad and your grandfather. So the further you get from these patriarchs, the more supernatural elements they get. And so they could become gods over time, and then that's how we get in the situation where you have these complex religions where the god has all these weird properties of being his own father. All right. Hey, Dumb Money Media. It's good to see you here. Thanks for popping in and saying hello. I think I'm about ready to conclude my stream. Dustin says, no, they didn't figure out the biology. It's complex. There was father of the soul, father of the face, father of the strength, whatever you're similar to. And TTV. I was also greeting Dumb Money Media. Dumb Money Media has a small channel. He's more into kind of like the Wall Street bets shit posting, I think. But he's a cool dude, and also is on the anti-Elon side of things. He's got here. Let's just let's do. I think he's got a lot of subreddits, but his main subreddit came in. So since he came in, I'm going to do a little promotion here. If I can pull up this, Brokenomics is his Reddit. Let's look at him. And I think he's also got a YouTube channel. So Brokenomics, Doomers Unite. Millennials and Zoomers have been robbed. Stand up for your future and discuss daily issues here. Let's find a way to scrape back the wealth that has been lost for decades. So there's his subreddit if you guys want to participate in it. And his channel is Dumb Money Media on YouTube. So Silver Gen Club and Broken. Yeah. So let's see here.
Hall to Wayne.
Oh my gosh, I'm streaming myself again. This I don't like. Okay. Let's see. I don't remember Dumb Money Media. I assume you have. If I pull it up, it'll come up. So his channel, right here, Dumb Money Media. Everybody. There he goes. So, and Dumb Money Media is not. Look at that. He's not a moderator. So, he's got to have moderators. See, I'm hoping to eventually. The goal here is, again, this is an experiment in human behavior. It's like the Lord of the Flies. We've got this conch shell, and I'm just waiting for somebody to use the conch shell to crack open somebody else's skull. So welcome, Dumb Money Media. You're a moderator. All right. I think that I'm really enjoying the conversation, everyone. Let's see. Why didn't Dumb Money? It says he's moderator. Oh, maybe it's the delay. I'm still seeing a gray in here. We can't have any grays. Like if you're a World of Warcraft player, the gray items are the really shitty ones, and I don't want gray items. I wish can we change the color so everybody's orange, because that's the epic color. Does anybody know? Can you change the color of moderators? I think Dumb Money Media's channel is satire and comedy, kind of making fun of hustle culture and Wall Street bets, and the idea that this is the way out of your situation rather than fixing the economy. Everybody's just gambling. TZ is a testament to that. TZ actually is a professional gambler. He plays scratch off lottery. He's like really good at scratch off lottery tickets. If you want somebody to advise you on the good scratchers, hit TZ up. So I know I can change colors on Discord, but I don't think it changes on the YouTube live chat. I need everybody in here to be epic orange. Now I know if you're not familiar with World of Warcraft, the epic color is different. And maybe oh, it was red actually. I think red was like a unique. Orange just meant that it was an epic item, and you had to usually use a raid to get it. But I think red was actually like world unique. So let's see here. You can have channel nicknames too. TM tomorrow. When no one's watching, flip your blinds tightly. Thank you, T. And again, I'm going to reiterate that we had, when we started this channel, we had lots of BBs. TZ is actually a BB. Pantha is a BB, and BB is a BB. BB is the original BB, and that's why everybody in here was going to be a BB, because BB could be Habibi, which means beloved. I thought of doing that, but I was like, oh, maybe that's too sentimental, and maybe I'm giving you guys too much credit here. But yes, I'm going to shut the blinds or figure out a way to prevent that sun mustache, because that was really bothering me. There was no red. What are you sure? What was it was like a world unique item? At least went in classic. Well, I thought there was. Let's see. Yeah, I made you all tool wrenches. You guys are all tools, so appreciate it. Let's see. We need to dig into this world. I mean, AB is going to be an expert on it. He's telling me. It's funny because TZ was talking about playing the World of Warcraft beta. Whenever you want to brag, that's like always the humble brag. I was in the original open beta for World of Warcraft. Nerd. Okay, let's look this up. Oops, I just made the chat. Sorry, I'm a boomer here. World of Warcraft. Let's see. I'm sure you're right, AB. You're the guy that's still playing Hearthstone, so you know all of the lore. I'm not up to date things, but I just got to do this for my own edification. I seem to remember that there were items that only one of them existed on the server. Am I mistaken about that? You have the Zergling pet, which also means that you've got the Diablo pet too. So, that means that you're a fan of Elon, because he is the world's top Diablo player. So, do you still have your collector's edition? I have like the first 3. I stopped playing during Wrath of the Lich King. I never finished Wrath of the Lich King, but I have the first 3 still. Oh, that's an urban legend, AB says. World unique item. Let's see. Okay. Let's settle this, because this is the kind of thing that could tear a community apart if we don't resolve the issue of server unique items. World of Warcraft. I'm going to do it. So just so AB is going to be our guide through World of Warcraft. Server unique. You know what really upset me about this is something that's probably not worthy of mentioning, and I'm sure it's probably been talked about multiple times. Leroy Jenkins. That is really, I understand it was just all set up, but the idea when you're at wherever it is, Black Fang Doodle House or whatever it was, that somebody could run in there and start the instance and everybody would die is just stupid. And as a autistic person, I was always troubled by the fact that he goes in there and they just didn't let him die and then res him and do whatever. But I guess it was all for show, right? You all need to get back on your tunes and raid with me. Yeah, I think about it, but I'm like, as a compulsive person, it's dangerous for me, because I'm like the person I like got to collect all this set, and then it just gets easily manipulated that way. So I try to, and what's funny is we were talking about hunter gatherers, and World of Warcraft like totally capitalizes on that notion of hunter gathering. You go out, you do this thing, and hunting is gambling, and so you might not find anything, but then you have this super rare. You find a super rare animal and you kill it, and then you get to collect its hide or whatever. World of Warcraft totally exploits if you have the hunter gatherer gene as opposed to the agrarian gene. Like can't remember who had the theory that hunter-gatherism is tied to is it ADHD. That people who have ADHD have the hunter-gatherer gene because we don't actually have the gene that makes us mindless and can farm rice all day. So we're designed to have to go out and collect things. And World of Warcraft has that for me. And also, like, if you're a collector in general, if you're a person who likes to, collect shit, it's tapping into that primal hunter-gatherer gene. Let's see here. I never finished my thought on this server unique item. Is that right? In my start page, I'm using start page. I think it's one of those weird DuckDuckGo type searches. So let's go to Google, because everybody else, you guys are all on the edge of your seat to find out, just to hear the thing that AB confirmed. But this is the age where we don't actually listen to human beings. We want an AI summary. When the AI gives us the stupidest, okay, here it is right here. Rare ones per server items. I could swear that maybe I have this vision of it, but maybe it's like the Berenstein Bears. It was, I'm remembering it differently. I thought it was, one final thing I'll just do. Red item. I'll add red item to my search here. I'm really embarrassing myself with this. Red items, request items. Boy, that really, really makes me look like I'm a noob. So, anyways, Dumb Enemy says can't play MMOs. It will eat the last years. Yeah, that's how I feel too. I'm aged, and I do enjoy it, but it just like all consuming. Like when I used to play, it was like that was your focus. You couldn't, if you really were like really playing. I mean, there were people who were just what was the word they call them? The people that you never really wanted to go on your raid with you because they had the gray boots that would reduce your DPS to the point where you wouldn't be able to take down Lady Vash or whatever in Serpent Shrine Cavern. Anyways, I don't have time for that these days, even though it would probably be very fulfilling and I'd probably be very happy to engage in that sport. I did, here's the thing that I did do. My friends and I who used to play, we got together a couple years ago and we did a book club within World of Warcraft. Only one of us was playing, subscribed at the time. The other two just took the free accounts, and then we got together and we read Dostoevsky's The Idiot, and we had the conversation about the book in Orgrimmar as orcs. So that was exciting. Let's see. AB, you have 750 mounts. Do you have the war bear? I think we talked about this. The war bear from Zulaman. I think you were the one I was having this conversation with. We in my guild, it was like a kind of a at least on a server, it was a hard thing to get because it was a 5-man raid, and you really everybody had to have pretty decent gear at the time to get it, and so we made it so we could just bring anybody in. Like 4 of us, we had the tank and I was the priest and whatnot. We could just get anybody the war bear, and at the time it was like a pretty prestigious thing. Probably not now. You probably can go and just pay money now to buy the bear, I assume. All right. It's a World of Warcraft stream. Yeah, I'm like I used to. Hearthstone is like, it seems easier for me to think about going and playing that, even though that can be all consuming too, to try to keep up with getting all the right cards so you can make the deck you want. But it feels safer. That's why, like, after stopping playing World of Warcraft, I went to playing deck building games, was because they're easier to walk away from a lot of times. You could just go in and play Hearthstone with at least you could at the time. You could play just the classic cards or whatever, which is a really safe thing to do, unless Blizzard made it so you can't do that anymore, which seems also like they could have done that. TM is a certified aspirational sock pooper. No, I never Never ever did not leave my desk. I was not that bad. And most of the time when I was playing, it was as a distraction. Like the biggest time I played, the most involved I got was after the housing crisis, and I moved back in with my parents. I sold my house at the peak of the bubble and decided I was going to wait till the prices came down. And I moved in with my parents, and I was just waiting for the prices to come back down so I could buy, my house back and have some money saved up. And what I did while I was waiting for that year and a half was I played World of Warcraft. That's the peak World of Warcraft playing, was when I had nothing to do. I had no job to go to. I just was sitting around waiting for me to be able to move back. I was living in a tiny, tiny room in my parents' house too. It was it was super small. And all I did was play World of Warcraft to pass the time away. All right. I think I am done humiliating myself and embarrassing myself and revealing personal details. So let's see. Dustin, I just realized Dustin, yes. And I didn't want to dox. And Dustin, what would be your preference? I like to know what names, even though nobody in this stream ever revealed their spirit animals to me. Or maybe I'm just terrible about paying attention. We got no spirit animals. I can't remember. I think we quickly talked about, instead of what spirit animals we had, we just talked about killing animals with our fists. So let's see. You made a minion in Hearthstone Battlegrounds with a 1.4 million attack the other day. Yeah, that was. I guess that's the big thing, is the numbers. So Dustin, do you want it to be referred to as, and explain the name Kotaku? I like it. I like that we've got. I like when people have kind of hacker names. It could be what was the guy's name in that movie, the definitive hacking movie? His name was Zero Cool. Somebody has to take the name Zero Cool so I can feel super elite. Dustin, Kotaku, you'll have to explain it. The Taku reference, is it wind or, but I like anything with code. I like all those hacker names, and we need more hacker names rather than Toasted Zergling. We need more, it's like somebody having a name, Stop Poking Me is essentially the equivalent of the Toasted Zergling name. But I get it. You've stuck with it. And all right, DMM, good to see you. Gorilla wearing a suit, holding a silver coin with 2 anime silver waifus dancing. Okay, that's a great spirit animal. Thanks for hanging out. Take care. Liam says jackass. So Liam, and I also been meaning, born in DC, is that District of Columbia? Are you Canadian? Is District of Columbia even Canadian? No, District of Columbia is American. What's the British Columbia is what I was thinking of. Liam, born in, I've got you confused with my good friend Liam, born in BC. Kuya. All right, Kuya. I'm going to call David O. Although David O, I mean, you're the only David here. That's a privilege, because, we could have a situation where we had multiple Davids or multiple Brians. Those are very common names. And I'm willing to, again, first come, first serve. You get those names, but only T, Turtle Time, gets to be T. So started out as Otaku, then I always been coding, so Otaku code. Everyone calls me Taku. Then I realized Kotaku was better, and I'm more code than anime now. Cool. I like it. I like Kotaku. It's a cool handle. Toasted Zergling needs to be renamed to Zero Cool, or one of those other dorks. Toasted Zergling's the guy who he likes to hack Gibsons. That's his hobby, if you didn't know. All right. Yes, I've been going on for too long, and I'm tired, and I'm just rambling. So everybody, thank you again for being here and hanging out. It was fun. I loved it. I'm gonna try to do better about setting the stream up in advance so you could see it. Like today, I had it on private. I woke up and I couldn't even get the chat out to put it in the stream. I was like, I set the stream to private for some reason. So I'm sorry, but it's always 4 p.m. and I'll see you guys next week and talk to you on the Discord. So anybody, I think we're all in Discord, except for AB. AB, you should come join the Discord sometime. Or maybe you're there. I don't know. Who knows? Anyways, I'm rambling. No, AB, this is your job here. You're the person who's supposed to help me close out the stream by telling me to get the fuck out of here. That's your official job. And right now you're failing. Even though you did your job, I am pushing back. I'm pushing back against it. Take care, everybody.